Let's start the chapter The Rat Trap, chapter number 4. This lesson is written by Salma Legolov. As I have already told you, questions will not come in the examination from the life history of the narrator, but still then you should read about the narrator, because I don't want to take much time on the life history of the narrator. Now let us go to the chapter text. Once upon a time there was a man who went around selling small rat traps of wire. A man was there who was selling small rat traps which were made of wire. He made them himself at odd moments from the materials he got by begging in the stores. Means those rat traps, he made them himself whenever he was getting time, and he was making them with the materials he got by begging from the stores or at the big farms. But even so, the business was not especially profitable. That selling rat trap was not a profitable business. So what he had to do? He had to resort to both begging and petty thievery, stealing, to keep body and soul together. For his livelihood, to earn his livelihood, he had to take to both begging and petty thievery. Even so, his clothes were in rags. He was wearing torn up clothes. His cheeks were sunken, dry, and had gone deep into, and hunger gleamed in his eyes. Means it was clearly visible from his eyes that he was hungry all the time. No one can imagine how sad and monotonous, boring life can appear to such a vagabond, homeless wanderer. Nobody can imagine how life is boring for a homeless wanderer like the rat trap seller, who plods means slow and labored walking with great effort. So who plods along the road, left to his own meditations. Meditations means you are thinking, thought. So while walking along the road, he was busy meditating in his own thoughts. But one day, this man had fallen into a line of thought. A line of thought came to his mind, which really seemed to him entertaining. That was very entertaining to him, that thought. What thought? He had naturally been thinking of his rat traps, when suddenly he was struck by the idea that the whole world about him, the whole world with the lands and seas, its cities and villages, was nothing but a big rat trap. This idea came to his mind, this thought came to his mind, that this whole world is nothing. The land and seas, all these things on this earth, this whole world, this is nothing, just a big rat trap. It had never existed for any other purpose than to set baits. Baits means the food items that is given to any creature, any animal to trap, that is called bait. So it had never existed. The world had never existed, he thought, for any other purpose than to set baits for people. Means this world was setting baits for the people, he thought. How? It offered riches and joys. Means the wealth you are getting, the joys you are getting in this world, shelter and food, heat and clothing, exactly as the rat trap offered cheese and pork. Means he compared the joys, the riches, the shelter, the food, the clothing, all these things to the beds. These are the beds offered by the world, he thought so. Exactly as the rat trap offered cheese and pork. The way cheese and pork given as bait in the rat trap, the same way the world had given all these attractions. These are baits for the human beings, he thought so. And as soon as anyone let himself be tempted, becomes greedy, tempted to touch the bait, when some human beings becomes greedy to get all those things, these baits, rich and joys, shelter and food, clothing, all these things, when someone gets greedy, becomes greedy to touch the bait, to get all these things, it closed in on him. This world closed in on him means traps him, traps that man, and then everything came to an end. He felt the world traps that man who is greedy to get all those things. First, the world throws these baits, riches and joys, shelter and clothing, food. And when someone becomes tempted, he is caught in the trap of this world. So children, you will read the lesson. Next class we will start. Thank you.